the class. Okay, so we were discussing something about the process that is related to analysis and testing. So in the process, the main criteria for analyzing and testing is quality process. In the quality process, we were discussing something about dependability qualities in the last class. That's where we left out. We'll just continue with respect to it. Why quality is required? All those details we have just seen it. What are all the uh, necessary things that we need to do for improving the quality? We have seen it. For improving the quality, the main thing that you need to do is first planning, then monitor it. Both the things, if you do it, then you will be getting a reliable product in the sense correct product. So that's what the thing that they wanted to tell us. In this dependability qualities, there are four different types that is available. Four clusters are available. First one is called as correctness. Whether whatever the program, whatever the software that you have written, whether it is meeting the requirement specification or not. If it meets with respect to all the specifications that has been listed, then it is a correct program. That's what they are saying it. Next one is reliability. Likelihood of correct function of some unit of behavior. Say for example, whatever the approximation, whatever the assumptions that you will be making it, for all those assumptions, even though it has not been listed in your specification, if it functions well, then we'll say that yes, in each and every condition, wherever you put it, everywhere it will be resulting you the same thing. So that is nothing but your 100% reliable product. Once it says 100% reliable product, then everything is correct in that particular program. That's what they are saying it. Next one is safety. Safety in the sense security issues. So with respect to preventing the hazards, hazards are nothing but unwanted or unknowing things which has not been recorded anywhere in our specification part or development process or any other process that you are listing it with respect to development of the software product. So in any one of the thing, if you find a unwanted or uh, which has not been considered at all, if you are getting such a type of events, then it is hazard events. That is what they will be calling it. So such type of hazards you need to just keep it away. So that is what you call as safety. The example that I can give you here is with respect to your programming concept, the runtime errors. The syntax will be always correct, but there is some problem with respect to understanding during the execution of the program. Uh, the system will be unable to understand it. So such a type of thing you need to catch it properly. Otherwise, you will be getting a hazard over there. Hazard in the sense you are saying that everything, the program that has been written is properly. Is according to the standards whatever they have given it, according to the standards itself you have written the program, but still you will be getting some errors during the execution of the part, not during the compilation. I'm talking about the compile as well as execution part. So with respect to Java, it's a compiler language, compiler oriented language. So your C sharp is a compiler oriented language. So I'm talking about those particular type of languages in which compilation happens very well, no problem, but during the execution you may have some unwanted events will occur. So in order to catch it, you need to be well prepared. That's what the safety is all about. And also the last part is robustness. Robustness, reliability, almost the same. What this robustness says is in extreme conditions, whichever the condition that you run your program in, everywhere the program should result in the similar output. It should not be changing with respect to it. So that is what the robustness that they are giving it. So they have one example for this correctness and reliability followed by robustness and safety. So we'll just check it out. With respect to this example, you have four signal lights that is available. It will be controlled in the central scheduler. That is, a machine is there where it will be controlling all the four traffic signals. Correctness and reliability, if you are just talking about, let the traffic pass according to the correct pattern and central scheduling. What is this correct pattern? See, once the green signal light is there, then the traffic should move or the person can move from one place to another place. Otherwise, he need to stuck in the same particular area. That is what the thing that they have given it. Red is nothing but you need to stop. Yellow, you can be ready. Once the green signal will be prompted, then you can just move. So this is what the thing that everybody will be understanding, everybody knows about it. So this is what the traffic signals, three signal lights that has been mentioned. So if everything is working fine according to the pattern, first red, then yellow, then followed by green, then it is easy for anybody to understand. Suppose after green, suddenly it should not go with red. So it should go with yellow, saying that you have been, the signal is going to change. So please slow down your vehicle. That's what the thing that you need to just attach it. Once it is done, then the red signal will be prompted. Once the red signal is prompted, then nobody can move. They need to stop over there itself. So this is the pattern, and this will be handled by the central scheduling. One computer is there, it will be just handling all these particular traffic signals lights. So that is nothing but your correctness and reliability is all about. Robustness and safety: provide degraded function when possible, never signal conflicting with greens. Suppose if all the suppose during the morning hours in our city itself, if we are moving around from one place to another place, if the signal light, it may come alive during the 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening, it will be there. After that, and before 9 o'clock in the morning, after 9 p.m. in the night, so your signal light will not be working. During that period, if you just blink, if you just start blinking green signal or green light, is it okay for everyone? Or does it give you a proper signal lighting at that point of time? So if it is only blinking green means everybody will conflict. Everybody will get confused whether the signal light is there or signal light is not there. Even blinking red is also not correct, because red says you need to stop and green says you need to move. So there is a lot of confusion that will be happening. So instead of it, blinking only yellow signal will be the right part that can be done. So that is your robustness and safety that will be gathered, or that will be taken care in your uh, movement of the traffic signals. Okay, so relationship among the dependability qualities: only reliable, that's more than enough? No, reliable but not the correct one. So all these particular yellow colored uh, s- thing, that is called as reliability. So if it is reliable but if it is not correct, then it is not of no use, it is of no use. Reliable in the sense, yes, whatever you say, everything is performing fine, but few here and there, whatever the specification that we have took, if it is not working fine, say for example with respect to the previous one itself, traffic signals was there, right? So with respect to that I'm talking. So with respect to the traffic signals itself, if you are taking care at that particular point of time, so if you are saying okay, everybody is moving when the green signal is there, everybody is moving, and whenever the red signal is happening, everybody will stop. But what about the yellow signals? Few may stop, few may go away. So this is not the correct pattern that we are following. So you need to slow down. That is what they are saying it. You should not move anywhere. You should stop, right? So that will not happen. So that is where only reliable will not help us in any particular pattern. So reliable as well as correctness should be available, but only correctness can be can be adopted? No, it cannot be safe or robust enough. Robust in the sense, the specification whatever we have given it, whatever the things that we have already given it as in the requirement phase, will not be sufficient enough for a longer period of time. So correctness is not happening means, or correctness is there but not safe and robust means specification is inadequate. That is what the meaning that they are saying it. Next, robustness. Only robustness? No, it is not possible. You need to have the safety part also, because you need to protect that. Without that protection, you cannot go with it. Otherwise, unwanted or unknowing errors will come into picture. You will not be able to understand what that particular type of errors is there. Simple thing, once you enter your lab exam, you have written the code properly in the answer sheet, but while typing you may have missed uh, one or more variable assignment values, or one statement itself you have missed it. You are saying that it functions well when when you are seeing with respect to whatever you have written in the answer sheet, but whatever is provided, whatever is there in the screen, in the monitor through the computer, whatever you have typed, you have missed one particular statement, and your particular statement is missing. It is not identifying that, but it is just giving you. You have considered all the particular conditions, but still it is failing. Understanding it. So that will happen with respect to your robustness. So unwanted, you will be not knowingly, you will not commit that particular mistake. Unknowingly it will happen. Unknowingly somebody else will take a will overcome, or unknowingly somebody else will be able to change the necessary things. Okay, so previous example with respect to the traffic moving, if you are taking it, in that traffic moving, if suppose it will be controlled in the network, central scheduling is that's what you have said it. Suppose something wrong happens, suddenly power goes off, then what happens? Everybody will start moving, and those who will be starting moving, the everybody will conflict with each other. There may be chances of happening, the accident may happen in any particular point, at any particular point of time. So for that you need to be prepared. So safety is very important. You need to place a constable or any other traffic inspector in the location where the traffic signals are operating with. Suppose in case if the traffic signal fails in any of the hazards, during that time it should be safe enough to travel in the road, and everybody should move in a proper manner itself. For that, one more particular safety measure you need to take care. So that's what they have given it with respect to it. But only safe, does it give you the right output? No. Safe but not correct, annoying failures can occur. So safety, that means you have assigned a constable over there in the traffic signal light and near the traffic signal light, but unfortunately no one follows the rule, means then it is of no use. So that is what the correctness that is all about. So you need to follow, you need to maintain the every particular rule, whatever has been put by the government, everybody should follow it. That's what the meaning that they wanted to say it with respect to this. Next one is analysis. Analysis includes everything should be manually inspected properly. What is this analysis? Analysis is nothing but the inspection. So you have done some work, I need to just check whether the work that you have done is up to the mark and or not. That's it. So how can you do it? By providing the inspections. Inspections in the sense, by monitoring yourself, by monitoring your work, whatever you have done, going through it, what are all the steps that you have involved, and how well you have got the answer, everything in depth. If I just go with it, that is nothing but your analysis is all about. It can be automated also. That means a system oriented, no human interaction. So no human intervention is there, means then you will be getting the right report about that particular product. If human intervention is there, means there will be a lot of hazards going on. So you may leave, or you may just consider it as a one thing. So there is an advantage as well as disadvantage with respect to analyzing with respect to the human intervention, as well as without the human intervention. So you need to be very careful to which one. If it is a critical enough, say for example, uh, if you are provided, or if you are developed a device for the medical usage, in that particular case, if you need to take both the person's opinion, that is what the system says as well as what the expert will be, who is using that particular product for a longer time, what is his opinion. Based on those two particular persons review only, you can just get back get a proper result or proper report. Otherwise you'll be not getting it. So that's where you need to be getting you need to be get used of when to use automation, when to use manual. So both are working good, but in which case, that is very important. If in the particular medical system, or in the medical equipment, if you are just providing the analysis part, and based on the analysis, maybe your friend has designed that particular product, so because of it you cannot say that that is a reliable one. You need to test based on the test cases, based on the test cases that it will be running, based on the result that it will be giving you. So then you need to start analyzing whatever the previous results that you are getting it, but that is nothing but based on your wisdom, you need to just think of, okay, this is what it is. So this was the thing that was happening previously. Now it is going to happen like this. So which is better? You need to choose it, and then you need to give the report. So that is what you call as inspection. Inspection, whenever you are performing, at that time, lot of uh, energy you need to waste, as well as lot of money you need to just uh, you'll be losing more money in providing the inspections. Inspections with respect to one report, you cannot judge that everything is correct. So you need to continuously monitor it. You need to continuously get the inspection report. Based on the inspection report, one or the other day, you may say that with respect to all those particular reports, average value, whatever you're getting it, if it is with respect to the marking region, whatever the certified companies will be saying it, if it is with respect to that, then they will say that yes, your complete product is ready to leave to the market. You can just um, release those particular products into the market. So that's what the thing that they will be saying it. For doing this, lot of inspection need to be done. So one time is not enough. You need to analyze it, you need to inspect it more oftenly. With respect to a small duration, you can do it, or with respect to a larger duration, you can do it. So that is where your inspection or the analysis part comes into picture. That plays a very vital role in any of the analysis and testing part. That's what I've just explored all these particular points in my previous slide itself. So just have a look into it. So if any problem comes, you can just come to me, or you can pose a question anytime. Okay. So we'll just move to the next one. Automatic static analysis. What is this automatic static analysis? More limited in applicability. That's what they are saying. It can be applied to some formal representations of requirement models, not to natural language documents. So your scanned document, whatever is there, it cannot be handling it properly, because some of them may write in different strokes. You might be knowing that handwriting will be changing from person to person, and even with the same person itself, with respect to the time, with respect to how comfortable he will be sitting, depending on that, his handwriting or her handwriting will be changing. So you can just check out your handwriting itself, how you'll be writing during your internals, and how you'll be writing during your regular classes, or during your leisurely time. So writing a record is very much different from whatever you write it in the observation book. During the lab sessions, regular lab sessions, you'll always use this observation books, right? So in the observation book, you'll scribble it. You'll not write it neatly. Whereas in the record book, whatever has been recorded in your observation book, that values you will be copying it. So while copying, you'll be having n amount of time will be left out. So based on that time duration, your handwriting will be improved over there. So that is what you call it as improvement will be there. So according to your automatic static analysis, this is not provided. Whatever the example that I have given, no, recording over there during the same particular time should be available. Should not be taken care with respect to enough amount of time will be given. Later you can just copy those particular things and neatly you can represent it. No, whatever is that, you need to represent it, or you need to present it over there at that particular point of time itself. So that is what you call it as automatic static analysis is all about. So whenever you are doing it, very limited you can apply it, because once you see with respect to your handwriting itself, there is a lot of changes that is happening. So with respect to that, it is very difficult for us to analyze who has written it, what is the thing that has been written over there. So that is the main particular problem that we are having it. So in the stipulated time, if you are just going to deal with it, then automatic static analysis cannot be applied for natural language documents. That's what they are saying. Are selected when available. Substituting machine cycles from human effort makes them particularly cost effective. Say for example, if you want to automate it, suppose I want to copy a small particular um, data that is available in one of the table. From that table, I need to paste it in the web page that I have just assigned to. So with respect to that web page, one document wherever is there, I need to just copy that and then just wind up my task. Around 1500 or 2000 entries are there. All those 2000 entries of data need to be properly admitted there. For first, what I'll be doing is I'll be enabling a macro. I'm using any tool, any software tool, I'll be enabling a macro. What it will be doing is it will be getting recorded. That is, capture and replay will come into picture. Whatever the things that I'll be doing, where I'll be, which particular file I'll be just opening it at the first time, it will be captured. Followed by what is the value that I'll be copying, it will be copied. And next one where it need to be copied, that is also done. Followed by next what I need to do, everything. For one or two records, I'll be just showing it how it will be performed. Rest of it, I'll run it in a loop saying that the same particular task need to be repeated n number of times till the end of the documents are there. 1500 documents data are that 1500 till that time I need to run this particular code. So if I run this, everything will be captured during that particular point of time where automation is also done, as well as the same thing should be copied in the same cell. So for that static, that is, there is no change in doing the work. So at that particular point of time, we can go with automatic static analysis part. This inspection part will give you the cost effectiveness in order to design it for the one time, use it for multiple times. Whether you do it for one field, three fields, four fields, the result will be one and the same. And the amount of time that you will be doing it will be one and the same. So the same duration, you'll be getting it very huge amount of work can be extracted. Means you can just go with the automatic static analysis. That's what the thing that they are just telling it over there. The next part is here testing. Whenever you take care with respect to this term called as testing, it should not be too late to start. That's what the statement that every particular testing uh, computer science scientist, whoever has analyzed this testing part, whoever has given the theses, they have given that, saying that you should not be too late to start your testing part. Testing means what? You're checking. Checking should happen right from the beginning, right from the first phase of your development process. It should start. So it should not wait for anybody else to give a motivation to start the testing. Suppose, simple thing, you have given your internals right yesterday, and also you have given internals with respect to different subjects. Still it is going on today. Also you gave one, tomorrow and day after tomorrow you have two more internals, you'll be giving it, right? So whenever you give the internals, will not evaluate whatever you have written for the first particular question. First question, if you have finished answering, you will be not giving it for evaluation over there. So once you finish the entire test, then you'll be just posting your answers. Once it is done, we'll be evaluating and we'll be giving it to you. It is with respect to the internals. Suppose no internals is conducted, we'll be going on teaching. So what it is happening from in this particular entire semester, right from the February it started till now, we are just going on conducting some classes. So now we have just conducted one internals, that too in May, not in March, not in April. You'll be not knowing how to answer, what are all the patterns that it will be coming, how you need to analyze the question, all those things you'll not be knowing. Suppose if it is the case, if I ask you to directly take the exam, will it be okay? So for that, internals is very important. So that is, instead of getting a last degree, so instead of having semester exams, we can just have one exam at the end of your fourth year. All the subjects, whichever has been learned, you just need to give the exams for it. Will it be okay? If we ask a question, what you have read, what we have done in the previous session, or whatever the concepts that you have read, forget about listening. Whatever you have read, whatever you have written it for the exam, for the internals itself, if we ask you once again the same question, you'll be having a lot of doubts in your head. You cannot come up with an answer. For that, continuous evaluation should be there. In between, if we have, see, I didn't give the online test for the first time. First, I asked you to go through or take a quiz. In the quiz, every question was very much clear what was there in my head, how the question will be asked in the exams as well as in the internals. So nobody has bothered about it. Few people have just played a game. That's it. It was a game, of course. I agree, but in the meanwhile, you need to use your brain for answering it. Without using your brain, if you answer it, then you'll not get the right output. Somehow, with the luck, you may one or two occasions in one or two questions you may get the right answer, but not always. So that's why you'll be start losing it. Once you start losing it, so you'll not get the good marks. So that's what happened with respect to your online quiz. Once that was the case, that was the first phase that I started. Second time, I just gave you a mock test. Why? What was the reason behind it? In order to get prepared with respect to the type of questions that you'll be getting in the real internals. There also few people didn't answer it itself, or didn't take itself. I don't know the reason, specific reason for it. So there also you have failed it. I didn't made any mistake over there. I've given all my tries. So what was that, how the questions was there, everything, I just thought of doing it in a different manner. Then your actual internal started. In the actual internals also, most of you have done mistakes. That is a different scenario. We'll just see it later. So this should be started right from the earlier stages. If I have started it 1 month back with respect to all those questions, all those particular analysis, if we would have given it assignment type of questions, then who knows, you might have scored a good marks. Now also there is nothing to lose. If you are willing to answer a few more questions, I'll provide you few more questions, you can answer it. So it will be a preparation for your final exam. So this should happen right from the first stage. Not you cannot say that once everything is finished I'll be start testing you. No, that's not the correct one. So you need to test it by step process. You need to just get involved in it. So that is what they are saying it with respect to your testing part. I've given the example. The same thing has been listed over there. I'm not going to read each and every point that has been listed, but I'll give you some examples which will be relating to that part. The next one is improving the process. How to improve the process? Very simple example is here, review system. Okay, we were not knowing when in the March 23rd, everything will go down, will be locked down in the entire India as well as in the whole world. Whatever the system was there, whatever the things that was running, everything will be shut down. Nobody was having an idea. In the month of February, it started, but we thought that it will be going to end in the month of February itself. March, no, nothing will be there. Everything will be normal, but it continued. So due to that, from March 23rd till today also, the lockdown process is going on in different stages, right? So whatever it is, why they have done it, what is the reason behind it, what made them to take this particular type of decision, even though it affects the economy of the entire country also. Our prime minister didn't bother about it, so he has imposed the lockdown. Why? Because of the feedback that he got from the experts who has analyzed this particular problem called as pandemic disease. How effective is that, what is the thing that it will be going on. He keeping all those particular reviews, he uh, came into a conclusion saying that lockdown is the only process that we can do it. We can avoid spreading this pandemic disease. So for that reason he has taken care, even though in the worst case of the economy also he has done it. And even 2 days back when he was giving the speech, he told, he always stressed on one particular part: you always buy local branded materials itself, don't go for foreign branded materials. So it will help us in providing or in getting the much more in helping to improve our economy part. So that is also possible. How he got that? So he got that based on the reviews that he got it, or the feedback that he got it from the experts. The experts are nothing but who are economy, who knows economy best. So with them, once they start conversing, they may have come to a conclusion with respect to all those particular stuff. They may have come to a conclusion. The same thing happens with respect to you improving the process with respect to any software industry or any software product. Once you design a product, it is not the end. You need to leave it to the market. It is not the end. You need to get the reviews from the end users. how best it is, how good it is. Everybody says your Microsoft operating system is the best operating system that they have seen. For a programmer, every programmer will say, instead of Microsoft operating system, I will be best preferring to go with any open source operating system where I can design my own operating system, and I can just work on that particular type of operating system. So that's what the thing that they will be having. Two opinions will be there. If you ask a programmer, he'll be giving you some different task. If you ask an end user who will be not knowing anything about the computer, but they will be using it, those particular users are called as end users. For them, always they'll be preferring Windows operating system. The reason is GUI based application. Everything is graphic user interface will be there. So some graphics will be coming into picture. Everybody will enjoy that graphics, even right from the kid, right till the older age people. They will be just wanted some changes, some colors, and that will be reflected on the screen. Everybody will be very much eager to know, or they will be very curious enough to see what are all the type of graphics that you will be just having it. Based on that, everybody prefers to go with Windows operating system. The second part is everybody are familiar with using that type of operating system, so that's why everybody will go and prefer for it. Who has given that? The end user has given the review. Based on the review, they will be just releasing the product. After that, some other product. Similarly, it goes on. So based on the reviews only, you can just remove or identify or improve your entire process, whatever you are doing it. Okay, so that's what. Leave all those particular examples. Take your own example. After, at the end of the semester, in all the semesters, in entire 4 years, in every semester end, you need to go with the process called as feedback. You need to give the feedback for each and every course that you have learned in the semester, right? So for that, what for you're giving it? You may be thinking that, oh, this sir or this madam has always been scolding us in the classroom, so I'll give you some average marks for it. Accepted, fine. And you may be having some other particular thing, so it is your review, it is not the collected review. Your review, whatever is that, you'll be just giving it. Once we get all the reviews, we'll just have a collected information. With respect to that, we'll just start analyzing it. Based on your particular review, we'll say that yes, this is where we went wrong, we need to improve it over here. So this is for our improvement, we will be just taking the feedback. Okay, so it may be in the positive sense, or it may be in the other sense also. You may have given it, no problem. Whatever you have given it, we need to analyze, and we need to just keep on moving. So whatever your feedback is there, it will be a vital thing for improving ourselves and move on and get a move on. Yes, you may have not benefited about you may not be the beneficial one with respect to the course that you have studied, but who knows, in future the same thing will not be repeated. It will be just changing. It may change. So for that change, you need to have the review system. Without the review system, you cannot sustain. Okay, so that's the thing that I just wanted to convey, how to improve the process. The next one is organizational factors. What is this organizational factors is all about? So your organizational factors, whenever you are you are saying it, so different teams for different development and quality, whether it is needed or not. You're getting my question, right? So these two questions, if you answer it, then organizational factors will come into picture. Different teams for development and quality, and different roles for development and quality. So this is two things. One is team is entirely different. The other one is role is entirely different. Which one is better? Based on that, your organizational factors will be coming into picture. So different teams for development and quality. Separate development and quality teams is common in a large organization. Whichever the company, IT, software related company, whichever you name it, everywhere you will be having a different development team followed by different quality team. What is the quality team? Quality team is nothing but QA team will say it. They are very much interested in planning and monitoring the entire process. Development, after that planning, they will be just developing according to the instructions that has been given from the quality team, and based on that particular quality team and the requirement team, so they'll just start on developing the product. Once the product is developed, once again the quality team will be inspecting each one of the development phase that they are just involved in. So there are two different teams available. With respect to that, it will be working fine. For a larger organization, it will be always there. And indistinguishable roles is postulated by some methodologies. Indistinguishable roles means you cannot distinguish whether you belong to a quality team, you belong to a development team. Somebody may be put it on the development side, somebody may be put it in the quality team. You need to accept and you need to just move on. So you cannot say no, I cannot do this, or I cannot work on this particular thing. Next time, if the time as the time goes on, somebody may be very good in programming, they may have pushed to the development team rather than going for the quality and testing analysis. So with respect to that, everything can be done. So it will be done with respect to your extreme programming part, where you'll be rigorously programming will be taken into consideration in that particular sense. So both the particular roles need to be applied for a single person. So they need to be best fitted in any one of the role. It is not restricted at only in the quality and testing. I have given the what you can say. I have given some training, so that's why they need to go with the same particular type of method itself, so they can just move on. Anyone, they can just do it. Next one is different roles for development and quality. Test designer is a specific role in many organizations. Mobility of people and roles by rotating engineers over development and testing tasks among different projects is a possible option. Nowadays, in this particular, during this lockdown period, most of the companies have lost so many crores of income because of no transaction that has been happened during this particular period. Now, in this situation, how can they overcome it? So instead of dividing the roles among different people, they will be giving the complete role, that is quality as well as testing. Testing people should also be coming in the same particular group, as well as development should also be doing the same group. So development, if they do it, then the testing should go take care with respect to different people. So generally, in general, every company will be having testing part separate, testing people will be separately maintained, as well as development people will be separately maintained. That is a right task to do. But during this particular period, like lockdown or some other particular economic crisis may happen due to that, global warming or something else, whatever it may be, due to the various causes, you may lose some economy. So in order to boost your economy, it is better to, instead of distinguishing your roles, you just work in a one particular team, and everything should be taken care by your particular team itself, so that you can handle lot of projects at a time. So for that particular reason, you can just improve your organizational factors. So this is the thing that you can just go with it. So somebody says that I'm very good in quality and quality checking, so I'll be just working on it. No, you need to work as a quality team member as well as development member. Then only you'll get a quality product, and then only you can just improve your business. So for that reason, you need to. It is better to go with different roles also. Okay. So best thing is whenever testing comes into picture. Okay, simple thing. Here, I'll just give a small example with respect to related to your different teams and different roles. Okay, suppose think about a small scenario. I'm just giving you a small scenario. This is just a scenario just to understand the concept. There is no reality in it. Nothing is there. Okay, so I'm just giving you a small particular analogy for it. Your you all are have registered under the one particular university called as VTU, right? VTU is a different one. College is a different. VTU it's an entire one. So around 200 to 250 colleges is there. So all those colleges, it will be a common rule that has been made for it, right? There is one more concept called as autonomous colleges. In the autonomous colleges, how the exams will be happening. In the normal in the university oriented colleges, how the exams will be happening, you just check it out. In the autonomous colleges, they will be designing the syllabus for their students, and they'll be designing the student depending on that particular syllabus itself. They'll just start doing the lessons. Based on that, they'll be just giving the test as well as exams. University will not come in between the students and the college. Only thing is, university will be responsible enough to give a certificate. At last, that particular college need to say that yes, they have just gone through all these things, so you can certify them. So based on that, your VTU university will provide a certificate for those particular students also who have joined in a autonomous college. But what about yourself? You have joined under the VTU. So VTU will conduct the exams. VTU will provide the syllabus, and you need to just follow those particular syllabus. And based on that, you and me, both of us, need to go along with the rules that has been set by the VTU university. Suppose, same thing. In the autonomous, there are different particular things. That is, you are the faculty is the person who will be designing the courses as well as who will be evaluating your entire assessment that has been taken care. Whereas here in the university, only faculty is about to do the lessons based on the syllabus that has been given by the university. So that is what they are saying it with respect to different teams and different roles. Roles with respect to your autonomous college, you need to assess as well as you need to set the syllabus. Whereas roles with respect to your university type of colleges, where it will be under the university type of colleges, that the faculty roles will be doing only lessons based on the syllabus that has been provided, and test assessment, internal assessment can be done with respect to that. So different roles are there. So it is not that only for the assessment you are there, not for doing any teaching. So both the things need to be done. For that, different roles may help or may not help. Different teams, definitely. Different courses you will be having it for different courses. Each of the course you need to provide a separate faculty for it, so that the people can understand better. So that is how it will be just correlated with respect to this exam. There are a lot of responsibilities that has been allotted. So with respect to that, some examples has been provided. Who is responsible for what? Quality team is responsible for what, and development team is responsible for what. So that's what they have just given it. So for different allocating tasks and responsibilities is a complex job. We cannot assign it. If I just tell a person to do or to conduct one particular type of analysis, means the other person will come and ask, why not me? You would have given the task to me also. So it is a definite headache task to whom you should assign it. For that, you need to go with allocating based on the capability or based on the knowledge the person will be having it. So we'll just see one by one. Allocating tasks and responsibilities is a complex job. Of course, we can allocate. Still, we can allocate on what basis? Based on this. Suppose you are going with unit testing. The unit testing, whenever you are doing it, it is better to take the testing part need to be done by the development team itself, not with respect to the quality team. Why quality team will not be coming into picture is, it's a development team who will be developing the small module. That module, whether it works or not, if you want to check it, means then it is better to give that particular task to the development team rather than going for the quality team. But the quality team may control the results. Whatever the results that it comes, no, you will be recording all those particular results. Next, during the integration time, that result will be helpful. So that is what the role that you will be giving it to the quality team. Next, the integration, system, and acceptance testing. There are three different testing once again. Quality team plays a vital role. Integration means you are integrating several modules. You are just interacting several modules into one single particular product. System means entire product you are talking about. Acceptance means whether the system, whatever the system testing that you are doing it, whether whatever the specifications or the requirement that you have listed at the beginning, all the requirements has been accepted properly with respect to your program that you have written or not. So all those particular things will be taken care. Major role with respect to this integration system and acceptance testing is quality team. Whereas development team may produce some scaffolding and the oracles. That is, some particular automation tools or automation things the development team can provide you, so that it will be helpful for the quality team to improve the process. Next one is inspection and walkthrough. So this is done. This should be done with respect to the mixing of the teams. So it is not that only development team should be taken care or only the quality team should be taken care. Inspection and walkthrough should be done by mixing of the both the teams. Quality team, some members should be there, followed by your development team, 1 or 2 members. Similarly, the group should be formed. And using this particular group, you can share your responsibilities. You can allocate your responsibility. Next one is regression testing. Regression testing is nothing but continuously you need to test it. Recursively, you need to test it. Recursively is in the sense continuously the testing should happen. So that should be done by the quality and the maintenance. So that should not be taken care by your development team itself. That the development team, once they design the product, they should keep quiet. Some particular one more team need to be formed where every particular time in every particular 1 or 2 minutes they need to start testing with different types of data. Once they test it, then they will be coming to know whether the bug is available or bug is there or not. So that's why you'll be getting always a different updates for your mobile phones as well as for your any other application that you're using. So that's nothing but your quality and maintenance team job. Next one is process improvement related activities. Once you want to improve your process, improvement that is required in the process that you are doing it for developing a product, then external specialists interacting with all the teams. So you should not do it by yourself. You need to invite some fellows, some external stakeholders to your particular area or to your industry. They need to test and they need to just give the output. Simple example that I can give you is you all will be doing some particular project in the final year. Suppose in the final year, whatever the project that you do it, if we only evaluate it, then it will be of no use. That's why we conduct exams. In the exams, there will be internal as well as external examiner. External examiner in the sense somebody who is coming from outside this particular college. So then you can improve the quality of the education. So for that reason, you need to take some external specialist help to interacting with all the teams. So the next one is with respect to your responsibilities, allocation of responsibilities and rewarding mechanisms. Here there are two cases that is available. First one is case one. Probably I'm running out of time. Yeah. So we'll just stop it here. The rest of the 2 slides, I'll just take it in the next class. Thank you very much for your patience listening. We'll just stop here.